The message wasn't meant for me. Her phone lit up on the marble counter while she showered, a brief vibration. A single line previewed before the lock screen dimmed again. "We'll have everything filed next week. He won't see it coming." The lawyer's name. Her lawyer. My wife's laugh echoed faintly from behind the bathroom door. Carefree, soft. The kind of laugh I hadn't heard directed at me in months. I stared at the phone. My pulse was steady, unnaturally so. It should have spiked, rage, disbelief, panic. Instead, it slowed, heavy, measured. She had no idea I'd seen it. I didn't touch the phone, didn't scroll, didn't pry further. I didn't need to. That single line was enough to open a fracture inside me, a crack that spread into every memory, every kiss, every word she'd ever spoken. The water shut off. She hummed lightly, stepping out, wrapping herself in a towel. She caught my eye, smiled. A perfect performance. I smiled back. And in that moment, I knew. My life had already been put on trial, and the verdict had been written without me. It didn't make sense at first. Divorce? She had everything: mansions, cars, accounts, influence. But then I saw it clearly. Not love, not marriage, not even companionship. This had been a game. She wanted the kill shot, the empire I built brick by brick, cutthroat by cutthroat. $500 million, dragged from nothing into existence by my hands. She had slid herself into my world like silk wrapping a blade, and now she wanted to cut. The little signs rewound in my head. Her sudden interest in legal jargon, her hushed late-night calls in the garden, her new obsession with separate girls' trips to places she never invited me. It had been in front of me all along. But betrayal doesn't walk in loudly. It seeps. It stains. By the time you notice, it's already everywhere. I watched her closely that night, the way she leaned across the dinner table, too casual, her phone always face down. The way she touched my hand but her eyes didn't follow. I chewed my food, silent. My mind screamed, my body stayed still. She had no idea the line had been crossed. The next week, I became a ghost in my own house. Not absent, not distant, present, watching. Her phone records weren't difficult to access. She'd grown complacent. A dozen late-night calls to the lawyer, each one stretched beyond 30 minutes. I didn't listen in. I didn't need their words. Frequency alone was confession. My private banker owed me favors. Quiet inquiries told me she'd begun shifting small amounts into an undisclosed account. Nothing large enough to raise suspicion, just breadcrumbs, a test run. She wasn't just plotting to leave, she was rehearsing her escape. I said nothing. I kissed her cheek good morning. I held her waist when photographers circled at the charity gala. I let her laugh too brightly at jokes whispered by men who weren't me. But behind the facade, I was building my own case. My attorney, my real attorney, the one she didn't know existed, secured copies of every trust, every asset. We restructured quietly, placing walls between her and what she thought she could reach. Iron doors behind velvet curtains. DNA. That was the hardest. The thought had clawed at me for years, buried deep, but never surfaced. Until now. A strand of hair from her brush, a toothbrush from our son's bathroom, a discreet test couriered by hand. It felt surgical, cold, necessary. I told no one. I let the storm form behind my eyes, unseen. She kept smiling, kept plotting. I kept waiting. The report came in a sealed envelope. No drama, just numbers, percentages, conclusions in black and white. Our son, not mine. 8 years of bedtime stories, birthdays, first steps, his laugh, his eyes, not mine. I sat at my desk, the envelope flat against the polished wood. My reflection in the glass window looked calm, too calm. That evening, she breezed into the study in silk, wine in hand. She leaned against the doorframe, her voice sweet. "You're quiet tonight." I slid the envelope across the desk without a word. She frowned, set the glass down, opened it. Her face collapsed in slow motion. Eyes flickering from the paper to me, back to the paper. Mouth parting, closing, opening again, desperate to summon words that would not come. This isn't. I didn't move. Her voice cracked. "It's not what it looks like." I cut her off with silence. Not anger, not accusation, just the weight of knowing. And she broke beneath it. The next morning, her plan unfolded just as she'd rehearsed. She filed for divorce. Publicly, confidently. Cameras flashed. Headlines bloomed. What she didn't know was that the house she'd tried to burn was already ash in her hands. By the time her attorney submitted the documents, my assets were untouchable, shifted, protected, invisible. She'd walked into court expecting victory. Instead, she found nothing. No leverage, no empire, just the hollow echo of her own greed. And then came the knife she hadn't prepared for: custody. Her lawyer stammered when presented with the DNA report. Her face drained of blood. The courtroom went still. The son she used as a pawn, the weapon she thought indestructible, revealed as belonging to another man. Her foundation crumbled, publicly, irrevocably. I didn't need to raise my voice. I didn't need to gloat. I sat there, silent, watching her world detonate in front of strangers. She had tried to strip me bare. Instead, she was left naked. That night the house was silent. Her things were gone. Her laughter was gone. The facade was gone. All that remained was truth. I poured myself a drink, sat in the same chair where I'd first seen that message light up her phone. The empire was intact, my name untouched. But something else had been carved out of me. Not anger, not grief, just absence. I raised the glass, took a slow sip, and let the cold burn settle in my chest. She thought she had played me, but all she did was free me. And some freedoms are worth far more than $500 million. Final line: in the end, she didn't just lose the money, she lost me.